Good morning, students. So let's start. Before that, you should follow some appropriate behavior, wear masks, follow physical distancing, maintain hand hygiene, stay at least 6 feet from other, wash your hand frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, and remember to not touch your face. Do not share your food or drinks with others. I hope you all are following these appropriate behavior in your day-to-day life. So let's start. So we have spoken a lot about human heart, and we know that our heart play a very important role. Now, when we talk about the human circulatory system, the main pump or the main controller of the blood flow is nothing but the heart. So heart is the muscular pumping organ. It is muscular because it is made up of muscles, and they are capable of contracting and relaxing, and due to the movement of contraction and relaxation of the heart, they can actually cause the flow of blood to and pump blood to different body parts. Okay, so it is located in the thoracic cavity between the lungs, So in between them, heart is present. It is slightly inclined towards the left side. Okay, tilted towards left, and the size of the heart is almost the human fist, size of the human fist. So if you actually fold the fingers of your hand, so the fist is formed. That is the size of the your heart. Okay, weight around is 300 gram, not too heavy as well. So that's all. So the job which the heart do is so critical, because if our heart stop pumping, then what will happen? The blood will not flow throughout the body. Okay, and the cells not get oxygen, so respiration will not be able to take place. So organism will not survive. Organs will not survive. So the proper functioning of heart is very, very important. The heart beats around 1 lakh times a day. So why does the heart beat? Again, the heart is also made up of muscles. Whenever these muscles expand and contraction is taking place, that causes a vibration, and that is felt as a heartbeat. Okay, so the way we feel our pulse, that is nothing but our contraction and expansion of the arteries when the blood flows through this. So similarly here also, the muscles of the heart movement causes heartbeat, and the heart is made up of cardiac muscles. So the type of muscles, there are 3 type of muscles: voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac muscles. So these cardiac muscles, so the voluntary muscles, their movement are under our control. Okay, and cardiac muscles are present in the heart, that is not in our control. Okay, by now I have already given you the brief instruction of the human heart. Okay, I told you that there are 2 auricles and the 2 ventricles, and I told you that they are separated through each other by the help of partition called coronary sulcus. And what is coronary sulcus? It separates the auricles from the ventricles. Then there are also some valves which are present, doors between the various chambers. So when blood has to flow from one chamber to another, so that regulation or that control in the flow of blood is given by valves. Okay, so each valve has a specialty that it opens and it controls the flow of blood. So the valves will allow the blood to flow in one particular direction. It doesn't allow the flow back of the blood. Okay, so now the question is, how does the heart beat? To some extent, I already discussed it, that as the blood flow through different chambers of the heart, the auricles and the ventricles maintain to contract and relax of the heart, and due to this contraction and relaxation, we can feel the rhythmic contraction and expansion, which is termed as heartbeat. So now, how many of you have ever been to a doctor along with your parents or grandparents to get blood pressure checked? Many of you would have heard the elderly people saying that they have high blood pressure problem. So what is this BP? it is a blood pressure. And what is blood pressure? It is the ratio of systolic and diastolic pressure. Contraction, when there is a contraction of the chamber, it is called systole, and when there is a relaxation, it is called diastole. Okay. At the diastole, the pressure with which the blood flow is known as diastolic pressure, and same as the systolic pressure. So the blood pressure is given by the two numbers. You would have heard that. So normally this blood pressure is always given by two numbers. You would have heard that people are saying the BP of this person is 120 by 80 mm. So what is this 120 by 80? It is nothing but the systolic and the diastolic pressure, which denotes the with which the blood flows during the systole, that is during the contraction. And diastolic, this is about diastolic pressure. So the systolic pressure is always higher than the diastolic pressure. Now for any healthy human adult, the average BP should be 120 by 80 mm of mercury column. Have you ever accompanied somebody who has gone to a doctor to get his BP checked? If not, try. Okay, so this is how the BP is checked with the help of an instrument called sphygmomanometer. Okay. Now, how do they check the blood pressure? They have this instrument which have a band, and that band is pressed very tightly. So tightly it is pressed that blood vessels get constricted. So when you constrict the blood vessel, what happen? A very high pressure get created. So under that pressure, it is pressed so tightly that the blood flow can be heard with the help of stethoscope. So this stethoscope is often used by this doctor to listen to that sound of the blood flow. Now the blood flow through these arteries is due to the ventriculus flow. So what is the systolic pressure? That is so at the maximum pressure, the blood, whatever is the measurement that is denoted down, so that is the systolic pressure or the numerator, and then it is gradually released. So when it is gradually losing, so what happens, that the pressure decreases and the value also decreases, and when it comes to a minimum value, that value gives the diastolic pressure. Okay, so when the chamber is in the relaxation mode. So this is how the blood pressure is measured. So the sound which the doctor gets here during through stethoscope, those sounds are nothing but the sound produced by the contraction and relaxation of the heart or the chambers of the heart. So as you have seen that in each cardiac cycle, there are two prominent sounds which are heard. It is due to the opening and closing of the valves. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the excretion in animal. When we talk about the transportation is not only the transportation of food, water and minerals. It is also about the collecting all the waste product from various part of the body and then removing it from the body. And that is where excretory system comes in the picture. So excretion is also an important example of transportation. So what happened in excretion? In fact, why we are talking about excretion? So let me ask you one thing. Why do you clean your house? We all clean our house. Okay. We clean it because there is no dirt, dust and microorganisms and small which causes harm to us. They might cause diseases in us. Okay, so that is why we clean. It is necessary for us to clean the house. So why do we wash our hands? Because our hands might contain dirt, the viruses, the dirty substances. So that is why we wash our hands before eating food. Correct? Similarly, why do you wash your clothes? Because microorganisms carried away or dirt carried away by your clothes. So have you ever seen how washing machine works? You just put your clothes in that, it get washed and by using detergent, and then you see that the dirty water comes out of it. Okay, So that water carries all the dirt which was present on your clothes, and that's how it cleans the cloth. So in a very similar way, it is very important to get rid of unnecessary harmful products from our body. So if harmful product keep accumulating inside our body, they can cause several diseases, they can even cause death of an organism. That is why it is important to keep our body clean. And that is why we talk about excretion. So if there is no excretion, the toxic level rises in our body, leading to disease. That is very harmful. So what is excretion? It is the process of removal of harmful metabolic waste from an organism's body. We will specifically focus on the human excretory system, how exactly the waste products are thrown out of the human body. So when we talk about excretion, so excretion means the waste materials which are thrown out of our body by the process of excretion. The word excrete means to expel out. To expel out. To throw out. So what do you think? What are the things that expel out of our body? So one such thing is feces. Okay. The other thing which is released is urine. So these are two common things which are released out of our body. Now feces are nothing but the undigested food. All that food that is not digested by our body is releases out in the form of feces. So basically these are not waste products. These are just undigested product. Now urea also is an undigested product, and how it is come out? In the form of urine. So urine is the process of excretion. Urine contains the waste products of our body. So when we talk about the human excretory system, we will look at the process of formation of urine and how, from where is urine expel out. Okay. So that is all about the human excretory system. It is important to know the part of the human body which take part in human excretory system, and what are they? So let us talk about them. So excretory system consists of a pair of kidney, two kidneys on either side, left and right, pair of ureters. Then you have urinary bladder. It is a big sac-like structure used for the storage of. And finally, there is an opening called urethra, which opens to the outside. Okay. So it is like this. Okay. So here you can see that it is a urethra which opens to outside. Urine is excreted out through this urethra. Okay, so these are the four important parts of the human excretory system. Now let us see how exactly transportation help in plants. So what do you think needs to be transported in plants? What do plants need? Some of the things that plants need are water, food, so that they undergo the process of photosynthesis so that they can prepare their food. What else? Now, light. So when we talk about transport, these are the two things which are very important for the plant. Okay. So every plant needs water. Similarly, every part needs food. So when we say food, food contain nutrients which is needed by the plant. Other than this, plants also need minerals. It may be calcium, potassium, magnesium, nitrogen, okay, which are present in the soil. And from the soil, it is needed not only by the roots of the plant, it is needed by the all parts of the plant. So now when we say that these are some of the things which is needed by the, when we say that these are some of things, water, food and minerals which are needed by each and every part of the plant, then we also making sure that all these things get transported to different part of the plant, because when we talk about soil, which part of the plant is in direct contact with the soil? So this is the soil. So roots are the direct contact with the soil, so they can directly absorb by the roots. Now if I want these spindles to reach their leaves of the plant, then how will it go? There has to be some transport mechanism. There has to be something which carry the mineral and to the leaves, or water to the leaves. Similarly, when we talk about food, food is prepared by the process of photosynthesis, and photosynthesis occurs in the leaves of the plant. So photosynthesis somewhere in the leaves. So food is prepared through which? By the leaves. But so that food needs to be transported from leaves to the all the part of the plant. So who is going to transport all these things? So these are two, that is xylem and phloem. So xylem are mostly dead cells. The cells of the xylem are not living. Now this xylem is made up of many different elements, or many different parts of the xylem, you can say. So this consists of tracheids and vessels. They are the real vessels. They are tubular structure, that is like tube, and they conduct water and mineral vertically. Upward movement of water and mineral. Now xylem parenchyma, they help in store food. The storing of food is also very important, because at the end of the day they also need some amount of food. And then xylem fiber, and it provides support to the xylem, so that they have enough mechanical support to be there. So these are the most important function of the xylem. Let us look at phloem now. Phloem are living cells. They are all dead. They are all living except phloem fiber. Now various elements of phloem are sieve tube. As the name suggests, they are tubular structure which is going to help in transportation of food. So these are tubular cells with perforated walls, that is their walls have holes or tiny pores. Now there is a companion cells which regulate metabolic activities of sieve tube elements, and they are supported by the companion cells. The sieve tube supported by the companion cells. Then phloem parenchyma. Now parenchyma cell, whether it is a xylem or phloem, they help in the storage of food. And the phloem fiber, they provide mechanism, support. Okay. So in both cases, fiber provides support and parenchyma provide help in storing food. So these are the actual job of xylem and phloem. So this is how this xylem and phloem work. So this is all about this chapter, the transportation in animal and plant. It is very important chapter. It will help you in your higher classes also. Okay students, if you have any confusion in any topic, you can ask me in your WhatsApp group. Okay. Thank you students.